Legacy is written now, not later. Not when you finally have time, not when you feel ready, not when you become rich, become famous, become perfect, become some future version of yourself. Now. Because legacy is not a speech people give about you after you die. Legacy is the pattern you live while you're alive. It is the daily evidence of what kind of man you were. And most men are living like legacy is something that happens automatically. They assume time will build them. Time builds nothing. Time only reveals what you built. If you build weakness, time reveals weakness. If you build discipline, time reveals discipline. If you build a life of comfort, time reveals emptiness. If you build a life of duty, time reveals meaning. Legacy is written now. In the morning when the alarm rings, in the moment you want to indulge, in the moment you want to lie, in the moment you want to quit quietly, in the moment you want to choose the easy path. Those moments don't feel like legacy, but that is where it is carved. Most men think legacy is reserved for great men. Kings, warriors, leaders, men with statues. No, legacy is for every man. Every man leaves a legacy. The only question is whether it is a legacy worth inheriting. You will leave something behind. A standard, a reputation, a family name, a line of behavior passed down like blood. And if you do not choose what you leave, your weakness will choose for you. That is the danger, not that you fail, that you drift. Drifting is what kills men, not physically, spiritually. A drifting man becomes a consumer. He lives for comfort, distraction, and mood. And when his time is done, he leaves behind nothing but a trail of missed potential and broken standards. That is a legacy too, a warning. So listen carefully. This video is not about becoming famous. It is about becoming solid. Because a solid man leaves strength behind, even if no one knows his name outside his house. A man who raises disciplined children leaves a legacy. A man who keeps his word leaves a legacy. A man who builds a craft, a skill, a trade, and teaches it leaves a legacy. A man who protects his family from chaos leaves a legacy. A man who lives with moral clarity leaves a legacy. Legacy is not applause. Legacy is impact. Legacy is transmission. It is what passes from you into the next generation, and the next generation is watching you right now. Even if you have no children today, your future children exist in your decisions. Your future family exists in your habits. Your future reputation exists in your discipline. And your name is being written with every choice. Men love the word legacy. They love how it sounds, but they refuse to live like it. Because living for legacy requires sacrifice. It requires duty over pleasure. It requires structure over indulgence. It requires standards when no one is watching. Most men want legacy without responsibility. That is childish. Legacy is responsibility. You do not inherit a strong bloodline. You build one. You do not stumble into honor. You practice it. You do not find meaning. You carry it. So I am going to lay down principles. This is not a motivational speech. This is a warning and a command. Because if you do not wake up to this truth, you will waste your life. And wasting your life is the deepest sin a man can commit against himself. Principle 1. Legacy is built in private, not performed in public. Weak men chase recognition. Strong men chase standards. A man who is obsessed with public approval will compromise privately. He will do what looks good instead of what is good. He will choose image over integrity. That is how men rot from the inside. A legacy worth inheriting is built when no one claps. In the early mornings, in the quiet work, in the discipline you keep even when nobody knows. Your private life is your real life. Your public life is a performance. Do not build your legacy on performance. Build it on integrity. Principle 2. Your habits are your inheritance. Men think inheritance is money. Money matters, but it is not the first inheritance. The first inheritance is behavior. The way you handle stress, the way you speak when you are angry, the way you treat your body, the way you treat women, the way you treat work, the way you respond to pressure. Children learn that first. They learn by watching, not by listening. So if you want to build legacy, stop talking about standards and start living them. Your habits will become someone else's blueprint. Understand the weight of that. If you are lazy, you teach laziness. If you are disciplined, you teach discipline. If you escape with addiction, you teach escape. If you face hardship with calm, you teach resilience. Your habits are inheritance. Principle 3. A man's name is either a shield or a stain. Your family name means something, even if you are the first to build it. A name can be a shield, a mark of trust, strength, reliability. Or it can be a stain, a mark of weakness, unreliability, dishonor. And it will not be decided by one moment. It will be decided by patterns. Do you keep your word? Do you show up? Do you handle responsibility? Do you speak truth? Do you stand firm? A man's name is built over years and destroyed by consistent compromise. So guard your name like you guard your life. Because when your name is strong, your children walk taller. When your name is weak, your children carry shame they did not earn. Do not give them that burden. Principle 4. Legacy requires moral clarity. A man without moral clarity is unstable. Unstable men create unstable homes. Unstable homes create wounded children. Wounded children grow into confused adults. That is how weakness spreads through generations. Moral clarity stops that spread. It draws a line. It says, this is right, this is wrong, and we do not cross the line. Not because we are perfect, because we are governed. A governed man creates safety. Safety is not softness. Safety is stability. Stability is what a family needs. So if you want legacy, you must be morally clear, not self-righteous. Clear. Principle 5. Legacy is built by carrying weight. A man who carries nothing leaves nothing. A man who refuses responsibility leaves a void. A man who carries weight becomes a pillar, and pillars remain after storms. Carry weight in your body. Train. Become strong. Carry weight in your work. Master a craft. Become competent. Carry weight in your home. Be reliable. Carry weight in your relationships. Be loyal. Be steady. A man who carries weight leaves strength behind. Not just stories, strength. Principle 6. Your legacy is your standard under pressure. Anyone can be honorable when life is easy. Pressure reveals the truth. When money is tight, do you become weak? When stress rises, do you become cruel? When you are tired, do you break your word? When temptation appears, do you compromise? When insult comes, do you lose control? Your legacy is what you do under pressure, because that is what your family will remember, not your speeches, your behavior in storms. So train for storms. Discipline is storm training. Principle 7. Legacy is built through competence, not wishes. Your children do not need a dreamer. They need a builder. They need a man who can solve problems, who can produce value, who can fix what is broken, who can provide stability. That requires competence. Competence is earned through repetition, through humility, through correction, through commitment. So build competence in your profession, in your finances, in your body, in your leadership. Competence is how you turn love into protection. Love without competence is emotion. Competence turns love into shelter. Principle 8. A man's legacy is measured by what he refuses. Weak men think legacy is about what you achieve. It is also about what you refuse. Refuse to lie. Refuse to betray. Refuse to indulge. Refuse to run from responsibility. Refuse to be controlled by impulses. Refuse to be bought. Refuse to compromise your principles for approval. Refusal is strength. A man who cannot refuse is a man who is owned. Owned men do not leave legacy. They leave damage. So build your refusal. Refusal is discipline. Principle 9. Your children will inherit your weaknesses unless you kill them now. This is the painful truth. Unaddressed weakness becomes family tradition. Anger becomes tradition. Addiction becomes tradition. Avoidance becomes tradition. Laziness becomes tradition. Cowardice becomes tradition. Not because children choose it, because they absorb it. So if you love your future children, you will wage war against your weaknesses now. Not for your ego, for your bloodline. You will be the man who breaks the chain. Because chains do not break themselves. A man breaks them. Principle 10. Legacy is the result of daily structure. A legacy is not built in random days. It is built through routine, non-negotiables, standards. A man who lives with structure produces stability. A man who produces stability creates a home that grows strong people. So build your day like a fortress. Protect the morning. Protect deep work. Protect training. Protect sleep. Protect attention. These are not productivity hacks. These are legacy tools. Because the man you become through structure is the man your family will rely on. Principle 11. The world will try to write your legacy for you. The world has opinions about what a man should be. The world will tell you to be softer, to avoid responsibility, to live for pleasure, to chase comfort, to prioritize self over duty. And if you obey the world, your legacy will be weak. Because the world does not suffer the consequences of your choices. Your family does. You do. So you must write your own legacy with your own code. You do not ask society for permission to be disciplined. You do not ask culture for permission to be strong. You do not ask weak people for permission to have standards. You live under law, your law. Principle 12. Legacy is built by leadership through example. Men think leadership is commanding others. Leadership is first commanding yourself. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead anyone. Your example is your real leadership. If you train, people around you feel it. If you keep your word, people around you feel it. If you are calm under pressure, people around you feel it. If you are honest, people around you feel it. Your example becomes a standard others rise to. That is legacy, not forcing, influencing through being. Principle 13. Your legacy is the story your wife and children tell when you are not in the room. Think about that. When you are not there, what do they say? Do they say you are reliable? Do they say you are calm? Do they say you are disciplined? Do they say you are honorable, or do they make excuses for you? Do they say you are trying? Do they say you mean well? Men who mean well, but do not execute, are not remembered with strength. They are remembered with sadness. Do not be that man. Be the man who does what he says. Be the man whose presence creates safety. Be the man whose absence is still stability. Principle 14. Legacy is written in sacrifice. Every strong legacy has sacrifice behind it. You sacrifice comfort, you sacrifice indulgence, you sacrifice ego, you sacrifice easy nights for early mornings, you sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term strength. This is why legacy is rare, because sacrifice is rare. Most men want to feel good today. They do not think about how their choices echo in the future. A legacy-minded man thinks differently. He asks, what does this choice build? What does it destroy? Who will pay for it later? Sacrifice is the price of clean legacy. Principle 15. You do not have infinite time, and pretending you do is weakness. Men live like death is an idea. It is not. It is a certainty, and the certainty of death should sharpen you. Not depress you, sharpen you. Because when you understand time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop living like a boy. You stop seeking endless entertainment. You start building. You start preparing. You start living with urgency. Not frantic urgency, mature urgency. The urgency of a man who knows his days are numbered and his responsibility is real. Now, I want to speak to you like a brother. If you feel the heaviness of this message, good. That heaviness is reality. A man should feel the weight of legacy, not because it crushes him, because it straightens him. Weight gives men posture. Responsibility gives men purpose. Legacy is responsibility stretched through time. So what do? You stop talking about someday. You stop planning without executing. You stop living as if your actions disappear. They do not disappear. They echo. Every lazy day echoes. Every disciplined day echoes. Every indulgence echoes. Every sacrifice echoes. You are writing a story your bloodline will read. Now, let's make it practical. Here is how legacy is written, starting today. First, you pick a code. 5 non-negotiable principles you live by. Keep your word. Train your body. Produce value. Control impulses. Speak truth. Whatever your code is, write it and live it. Second, you build daily standards. Wake time, training block, work block, sleep boundary. These are the rails that keep your life from drifting off a cliff. Third, you choose one weakness to kill. One. Maybe it is addiction. Maybe it is laziness. Maybe it is anger. Maybe it is cowardice. Maybe it is distraction. You identify it. You attack it. You add structure. You remove triggers. You build consequences. You do not negotiate, because that weakness will become your children's weakness if you let it live. Fourth, you build competence. Pick one skill and become dangerous at it. Dangerous in the right way. Reliable, useful, respected. A man who can build something real leaves something real behind. Fifth, you practice sacrifice. Not dramatic sacrifice, daily sacrifice. Say no to comfort. Say no to indulgence. Say yes to effort. Say yes to responsibility. Sacrifice is the muscle of legacy. Now, let me tell you what will happen if you do this. At first, it will feel heavy, because you're waking up from drift. It will feel like pressure. It will feel like you are being called out. Good. That pressure is the forge. Over time, the pressure turns into pride, not ego. Pride. The pride of being a man who is building something clean. And that pride changes the way you move through the world. You become calmer because you are not ashamed. You become stronger because you train. You become more focused because you have mission. You become more reliable because you keep your word, and that reliability becomes your legacy. Even if you never become famous, even if the world never knows your name, your house will know, your wife will know, your children will know, and the men who come after you will carry your standard in their bones. That is legacy. Now let me give you the final truth. Legacy is written now because now is all you ever truly have. The past is gone. The future is not guaranteed. All you have is this moment and what you do with it. So stop living like you have time to waste. Stop living like you can fix it later. Stop living like your habits don't matter. They matter. They matter more than your opinions. They matter more than your intentions. They matter more than your excuses. Legacy is not built by wanting to be a good man. It is built by being one. In the dark, when nobody is watching, when it is hard, when it costs you something. So write your legacy now, today, with your actions, with your discipline, with your restraint, with your competence, with your moral clarity. And one day, when you are gone, your name will not be a question. It will be a standard, a shield, a legacy worth inheriting. That is the warrior's code.